Hey everyone, welcome to the Growth Chat by Mailmodo. I am Mansi, your host for the evening, and today we are going to talk to Saif from Mode Magic by Mason and Surya from Mailmodo to find out the secrets of high performing D2C brands. So let's start by first knowing a little more about Saif and Surya. So Saif is a product and growth marketer at Mode Magic by Mason, which is a conversion toolkit for Shopify merchants, enabling them to run a high performing store by improving their conversions. On the other hand, we have Surya, who is an email expert at MailModo, a complete email marketing software that helps brands to send interactive emails and improve engagement by 3x. All right, let's get started. So today, Saif and Surya are going to spill their secrets to high-performing D2C stores. And Saif is going to do that from the perspective of website conversions, and Surya is going to do that from the email marketing angle. So let's dig in. Starting with my first question. So having worked, Saif, having worked with multiple D2C brands, what are the best practices that a D2C brand should follow to grow their brand, to grow their D2C store? We can talk about this from the perspective of first website conversions, and then we can move on to email marketing. Saif, over to you.
Sure, sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much, Mansi, for having me here today. From the lens of website, if I talk about like what are the best practices every D2C brand should follow, the first and foremost things come their online store, because their online stores are the first major touch point for any customers to have experience of their products. So like the first impressions is the sort of last impressions for these type of brands. So the first thing which comes into my mind after talking about the stores, the UI of the store. The UI of the store should be very crisp and clear. The overall store should be very intuitive, easy to use for the customers, so that customers come and they can browse through the products and they can easily go to the checkout pages for purchasing the product. There should be very clear categorization of the different category of the product. There should be very clear and crisp pricing model, and also we should be the brand should be giving the enough information about the product so that customer can understand the product and they can easily go for the purchase. Brands these days, like, they can use different sort of conversion blocks for you know getting the user attention and also creating the FOMO for their customers so that they can buy immediately. For example, for creating a FOMO, you can have a product badges which are talking about, like, let's say about inventory alerts, like a few items are left. So it actually introduces the customers like to purchase that product immediately. So it actually helps to grow the business overall for the D2C brands. A couple of other stuff on the website conversion, if we talk about, so to create more social proof and trust, uh, yeah, like you can add actually the customer reviews widgets over website for the other customers who are actually coming for the first time or repeating for the purchase. A couple of other things, like I would suggest having a customer support direct channel, a way through which your customers or your users who are actually browsing the product through your stores, they can reach out to you directly for any sort of support queries related to product shipping or post purchase experience. So all these things are the couple of website conversions related best practices every D2C brand should follow. Add on to this, brand should leverage the automation. Like, automation actually helps to save time, effort, and they can automate a lot of things, a lot of campaigns they can run on autopilot around any festival season or around any certain time period where, like, where brands are actually expecting a lot of traffic on their web store. So yeah.
Got it. That's really insightful, Seth. I'll take up the question from the lens of email marketing now. The best practices a D2C brand needs to follow to leverage email marketing successfully. Well, I would say when it comes to D2C, you have to build from scratch. because most of the users who have signed up to your brand don't know about your products that well, right? So you have to build the trust of the end user. So first and foremost, in email marketing, the most important question to be asked is how frequently do you nudge them, right? So this can be answered beautifully if you marry platform activity with email activity, wherein you form four types of cohorts, wherein cohort one is users who are email active and platform active. Cohort two is users who are email active but platform inactive. Cohort three is users who are email inactive but platform active. And the last cohort is inactive on both, that is both on the platform and email as a channel. So how you should target them varies. Most of the marketeers in India commit the mistake of targeting them with the same type of offers. But when it comes to email active, platform active users, you can send your regular vanilla offers. But when it comes to email active, platform inactive, these are users who are opening your emails, but somehow they are not very active on the platform. They are not transacting, or they are not spending much time on the website. So how do you capture their attention? How do you build that brand affinity? Is by sending them offers which are higher than the vanilla offers. Then comes a cohort which is email inactive and email inactive and platform active. These are users who have affinity to your brand, but somewhere down the line they're not opening emails. So you can engage with them on other channels by sending them push notifications and intimating them, hey, we have sent you a voucher to your inbox. This encourages them to check their emails and converts them to email active, platform active users. And a lot of other things can be done, like in terms of website strategy also, there can be pop-ups to celebrate key occasions. For example, you can have a payday sale as a pop-up on the website, and the users can just enter their email IDs and don't display the offer as part of the success message. Just tell them that we have emailed the offer to you. This will just keep on encouraging them to be active on email as a channel. And why do we want them to be active on email as a channel is simply because email marketing is one of the cheapest channels. Even WhatsApp allowing broadcast offers right now. WhatsApp comes at typically 50 paise to 70 paise per message, as opposed to email marketing, which is pretty much under 5 paise per message. So the ROI is tremendous when it comes to email marketing. So marketeers should always encourage users to convert to email active users. So segmentation is a very key strategy when it comes to leveraging email marketing in the D2C space, because unlike an Amazon or Flipkart, most of the users don't know about your brand. They know about your brand maybe through an Instagram ad, maybe through like word of mouth. They have just come to the website and transacted once. How do you get them back? How do you increase the repeat transaction rate? Is by adopting a very sophisticated segmentation strategy, I would say. And this is what most of the marketeers tend to miss out on when it comes to D2C email marketing or D2C marketing. That's one of the key strategies that I always advise my D2C marketeers to follow. And then comes another key aspect: how frequently do you nudge them? When to send them an email? So this is beautifully done in the US, wherein they capture the user preference within the welcome nudge itself. Most of the welcome nudges in India, I don't see a lot of users being asked as to what type of emails they want in their inbox. Do they want newsletters? Do they want offer related emails? Or at what frequency do they want the emails? Do they want it on a weekly basis? Do they want it on a daily basis? Some of the brands just assume the frequency. So I would say, if you can ask the users within the welcome emails itself regarding the frequency of emails, regarding the type of emails, and Mailmodo gives you this opportunity to ask, interact with your users with interactive widgets like quizzes and polls. So these are the top two hacks on my mind when it comes to D2C email marketing.
That's amazing. So we got to learn like the best practices that a D2C brand should follow from both the lens of website conversions and email marketing from Seth and Surya. So moving on, how does storefront automation play a key role in the growth of a D2C brand? Seth, can we like hear from
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I'll pick this up. So yeah, I mean, storefront automation. Yeah, it's very as I was talking in the best practices as well. It's one of the major aspect like every D2C brand should follow. It actually helps a lot of time, save a lot of money and effort as well for running any platform or for running any store. So actually, the thing is, uh, what we do at Moat Magic, like we are actually helping the Shopify store owners and merchants with a couple of automation playbooks. They can actually configure the automation in one go, like with a couple of clicks, and they can and those automation will go on running for a long time. So it actually overall helps and fasten the process of updating stores. It it starts from the storefront to the backend as well. Like there are a lot of tools available in the market which actually help to automate the process of shipping, inventory alerts, and a couple of other aspects of e-commerce stores. uh, with store talking specifically about the storefront automation, tools like Mode Magic itself, like you can actually run automated sale campaigns, flash sales or discount campaigns. You can also put your inventory alerts on autopilot. For example, if you're running out of any product, only 5 items are left, so there will be automated badges coming on all those items who like for those like the number of items, only 5 are left. Similarly, a lot of other stuff are there. You can automate the adding the banners on different product pages, category pages. All these things can be automated. In fact, uh, personally, if I talk about, like, I've been working with different D2C brands. We are a lot of D2C brand as our customers. So talking to them, like what we found is like the very interesting insight from those conversations came from like the brands who are actually using automation. They are seeing almost 2.5x growth in comparison to like the brands who are actually doing all these stuffs manually. So yeah, overall automation helps to save time, increase the conversions, and increase the ROI overall.
Right, right. I'll take it up from the email marketing lens, and I totally agree with Seth. When it comes to automation, it is as if you know your user. You are basically following the footsteps of your end user on the platform. So you are pretty much well versed with what the user is doing when you're sending them a nudge. If the user has dropped off at a cart, you know that the user has dropped off at a cart, and that's why you are sending a campaign, as opposed to batch and blast campaigns in email marketing wherein we don't know if the user has affinity or not. Over here we are sure that the user has platform affinity, because the user has dropped off at a certain product, the user has dropped off at a certain cart, or the user were looking for a certain product but it was out of stock, right? So such automation nudges tend to increase conversion rates by 100%. And if you have interactive widgets within them, for example, at MailModo, you can have an add to cart within the email itself, which increases conversion rates by 200%. So typically what I've seen is, when it comes to marketing automation, email marketing again forms a very integral part, because unlike other channels like push notification, if you have an omni-channel automation platform and you try to configure push notifications, SMSs, emails, WhatsApp under one umbrella, what happens is the cost, uh, the price you're paying for each and every channel, when you compare emails is the cheapest. So again, over here, email wins in terms of ROIs. And when it comes to interactive emails, it's I would say the web 3.0 of email marketing, because uh, web technology had evolved to a certain extent, but email marketing kind of lagged behind. But when it comes to AMP emails, when it comes to interactive emails, it infused life back into emails. So again, rolling back to automation, if you use interactive widgets within the automation nudges that you're sending out, for example, you are sending out an add to cart reminder to an end user. If you have an add to cart button within the email itself, it leads to a spike in conversions. And we have seen a lot of brands, a lot of D2C brands leverage this beautifully using MailModo as a platform. And over the last 6+ years, I have seen brands outside the universe of MailModo also, minus the interactive email widgets, also use email marketing automation beautifully. So you can have an automation setup for an item to be back in stock in your product catalog. If the item is out of stock and it's back in stock again, the user was searching for it, you can send a nudge to the user, hey, the product you were looking for is back in stock again. You can have an add to cart, you can have a product drop off, you can have a refill automation, you can do anything and everything uh, uh, a human being would be able to do, uh, communicating with a user one on one through email and through automation. Basically you are basically setting up a robot on your marketing tool, which exactly knows when to sell what to the end user, which really helps in the conversion rate spikes. And Seth is indeed uh, right about here, about introducing automation, and the result of which is a spike in conversion rates. And it's just not a 10% or 20% jump. We have seen up to 200% jump in conversion rates.
Right, right. I mean, I would like to add a couple of points here, Surya. Like, as we talk about the best practices for like in terms of website conversions, so all those stuff which I talked about in the first question, everything can be automated, from customer
Right.
support queries to creatives over the web store, or anything which is over on the website, everything can be automated. So yeah, ultimately, like overall, automation is going to help to save time and increase the conversions.
Right. Right.
Great. So, this was amazing that, we got to know. Surya had a very amazing point that AMP emails is the Web 3.0, and I mean, of emails, and that's definitely true. And also, we heard amazing points from Seth about storefront automation in D2C. It's definitely like it's about automating everything for sure. So moving on, we are connecting this point here where Surya talked about uh, automating the D2C completely with emails. Continuing that to, how can e-commerce merchants leverage email as a tool to increase their sales? Surya, can you share something here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in the first part, we talked about how cheap emails are, and that's why still email marketing is relevant. And one of the other reasons is the reach of email marketing. So, since email marketing came in before any other channel, we have more email IDs as touch points, more than any other data, even mobile numbers, because email IDs came before mobile numbers. So, in terms of reachability, in terms of penetration, email marketing has a wider reach, higher penetration across all age groups, right? So, while in India, relatively, people have a lower tendency to check emails, but still, email marketing being so cheap, email marketing is still the highest ROI generating channel. And in India, especially, what we do at Mailmodo for a few brands is we we know a few hacks which can get your emails in the primary tab. While it's not fully under our control, but we know the best practices, like having hidden paragraphs, having a certain tonality to your subject line, which helps in getting the emails to the primary tab, and it in turn uh, captures the end user attention to an extent that the end user engages with your emails as opposed to the emails lying in the promotions tab. This married with the super interactive widgets that we have. For example, you can have a spin the wheel within the email itself, and that would be perfect for a D2C brand, right? Because most of the D2C brands, what I've seen is when they send spin the wheel campaigns, they lead the users to a landing page where there's a contest, so there's a very high drop off. But if the end user is able to rotate a wheel within the email itself and get the results, get the coupon code, and then proceed on with the shopping process, it leads to a much higher conversion rate, is what we have seen. So, interactive widgets, primary inboxing, and hyper segmentation is what we do at Mailmodo to ensure that the right users are receiving the right emails at the right time. And when it comes to the right emails, I would say the most interactive emails at the right time, right? And when it comes to primary inboxing, also, we just don't do it for all the users. As I told you guys initially, there are four different cohorts you can think of when it comes to uh, D2C marketing. So the email active and the platform active users, you can definitely get the emails in the primary tab because they would love to have the emails in the primary tab. But if you send an email to the primary tab for maybe email active platform inactive user, these are users not having affinity to your brand. They might just unsubscribe or they might report to spam. So you don't want that. You first want to convert them to the first cohort and get the emails in the primary tab. Well, I can talk about it for minutes and for hours, but we have limited time over here. And any of you in the chat who is interested can definitely chat with me later on this. But all in all, these are the three best practices that we follow at MailModo: hyper personalization, hyper segmentation, I like to call it. Hyper segmentation and hyper personalization are very closely related, and I like to call it hyper segmentation, primary inboxing, and of course the super interactive widgets that MailModo has to offer. So these are the few practices that I always recommend to all the D2C brands. Get your segmentation strategy right, get your deliverability right, ensure that you're sending emails from the right infra, you're not sending emails from blacklisted IP addresses. And of course, don't miss out on interactive widgets because this is the new age of email marketing, and any email marketer missing out on this is basically lagging behind. So anyone who is sending an email with spin the wheel contest within the email itself, as opposed to any other marketer sending an email leading the end user to a landing page to play spin the wheel, uh, obviously the former would, be giving a better experience to the end users. Yeah. So, like, I that's it, Mansi, from my end as of now.
Great.
I would love
Okay.
to, yeah.
Yeah, great. So I think yeah, that was really insightful. And let's move on. Seth, would you like to add anything here before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with all the couple of points which Surya mentioned here, like how these D2C brands actually can leverage email to increase their conversions and overall revenue. So a couple of things like sometimes uh, we can use email for building more relationship with the customers, more personalized one. I think Surya covered a lot of things over there. Uh, but a couple of things are there, like uh, probably one thing is like if when user is actually adding something to the cart but not completing the purchase and they are going back. So one thing is like we are sending offers or something around that product and recommending other products which can be bundled with the product which is added to the cart. uh, Other than that, like we can do the other sort of engagement through content. Email is not just about sending offers or sending trying to make the customers or users purchase from your website or store, but also engage with them with the content which should be also personalized from their uh, buyer journey, like what they like, what like based on their intent. So like these D2C brands should be engaged with them. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
an
So,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, just to add on to the newsletter bit, like newsletters can be really impactful. Like what I've seen is a lot of brands, a lot of prominent brands. For example, like it's not the perfect example of a D2C. What 1mg does, if you have subscribed to their emails, they basically lead you onto the product with the help of a newsletter, which is in the form of a blog. They first talk about a disease and then they sell the medicines which are relevant to that disease. So it's kind of like an inverted pyramid design wherein you are leading the users to the CTA by talking about the product more. So it your content need not be salesy all the time. That's a mistake which a lot of D2C marketers commit. Like Seth mentioned, D2C email marketing is not only about sending out offers. It's also about educating the user more about your brand. For example, when you subscribe to a brand, when you purchase the first time from a hair care brand like a B Blunt or a Godrej Professional, right? You get a series of nudges apprising you of what the brand stands for. If it's a professional brand or if it's just a hairstyling brand, right? So you get to know more about the brand through the welcome series nudges, through the newsletters, through the content which is rolled out as part of those nudges. And thanks, F, for uh, uh, bringing this in. Indeed, a very stern advice to all D2C marketers who are remotely acquainted with email marketing. Please don't make your email marketing calendar all about offers. Reserve 2 or 3 email campaigns which are more educational in nature, uh, so that the end users have some takeaways from those newsletters. For example, Nika sends sort of like a digital magazine towards the end of the month, collating all the blogs they have published. And they are not salesy at all. They are just apprising the users of all the blogs which have been published on the website. So such strategies can really make the users look forward to emails from your brand. So when you actually send a salesy offer, the user actually opens the email, and when the user is interested, he or she will transact. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's completely true, Surya. Right. So we are in short of time, and we want to move on quickly. We have just covered like 3 points here, and before I move on, people who are watching this or the viewers, I request if you have any questions, feel free to put it on the chat here, and we'll take them as we go. Cool. So moving on, today we know like a lot of D2C stores are, competing with the giants like Amazon, Walmart, and all, who have like a great user interface. So which tools can the D2C stores leverage to give a great customer experience to the shoppers and increase that conversion? Seth, I think we can start with you here. Uh,
Sure, sure, definitely. So I think I'll take this question in two parts. The first part, I
yeah.
would say, like, why these new D2C brands are like should make their own website or store. And the other part will I'll talk about the tools they should be using to deliver a seamless experience to their customers. So for the first part, like talking about like why they should make their store, a couple of things are there. Like I'll be so if I want to talk, like I can talk for hours on this particular topic, but I'll be covering the major four important factors we should these D2C brands should care. The first thing is brand building. So you can do business, you can earn revenue by selling your products through these retailers like Walmart or Amazon, like these platforms. But if you want to if you're thinking for the long term growth, you should be working on your brand, so that making the store actually starts from brand building. So if you guys remember like Dollar Shave Club, so how they have actually tell their story in a very short video, like, and if you see like that video, I mean, it is no ad spend video, and it is, I mean, it got viral in 2021. And it is something like, when you say like, if you want loyalty from your customers, make sure people actually recognize you. So that comes from the brand building part. So that's the first one I would say for any D2C stores. The other thing is like, when you are actually making your store and people are coming on your store, so you have more control over the communication. You can directly communicate with your users who are actually frequently browsing products on your store. You can send personalized emails, nudges, and you will have more data points to understand the your users better. And based on that, you can personalize the stores for themselves. So the other part is like, you can actually offer seamless customer experience based on the customers click streams, like how they are actually moving inside the web store, or like what categories they are actually browsing more, or what sort of products they are actually buying more frequently. So on the stores, like, your goal should not be getting the first purchase from any customers, but you should be focusing on long term engagement with those customers, and making sure like they are keep coming back on your store. So that's the third point. And the last point is coming around the revenue impact. So if you are selling your products through retailers, so you must be giving some commissions to these stores, and they must be charging for the same. So for example, if you have products, so I will take example of Adidas Yeezy. There was one model Yeezy from Adidas. So what they did is like they generated the demand for that particular product, and a lot of people are searching for that product, and they haven't they haven't bring that particular model on the other retailer platforms. They only kept it on their brand store. So people are coming on their brand store to purchase that product. So yeah, you can create demand, and through that you can actually impact revenue. You can get more revenue out of it. So yeah, all these 4 points are there, which uh, which are actually important for any D2C brand who are opening up their new website or store. The other aspect of the question is around tools they should be using to offer seamless experience to the customers. So a lot of tools are there. As I was talking about in the first question itself, like when we are talking about the best practices every D2C brand should follow, we talk about like customer support. So they should be using automated customer support channel like on Shopify. I remember there's one tool, Gorgias or Freshdesk also there for in general customer support tools, because customer support is very important for any e-commerce brand to give a seamless experience to the users. The other thing is you have to keep talking to your customers to understand their feedback on the store and keep collecting it. And also like there are a couple of tools to automate this process to get the customer feedback and putting it on your web store. The other two kind of category of tools I can talk about here is like one is creative automation. Since we are talking about automation a lot in this growth chat, right? So there are a lot of different kind of automation tool. There is one tool which actually automate the inventory alerts or the shipping process or the billing process. So similarly, the most important for any D2C brands for their website conversions is around a creative automation platform. So creative Mason is a one sort of creative automation platform which helps brand owners or merchants to automate the process of creating creatives in bulk. For example, if you're running any sale campaign for Christmas, so you have to create a lot of like thousands of banners or thousands of images in one go. So if you're going to do it manually, it is going to take a lot of time. So you can use these type of tools to fasten the process and save a lot of time. And the other sort of thing is around merchandising, like tools like Mode Magic. It actually helps Shopify merchants and owners to offer different sort of conversion blocks using which they can actually increase their revenue. Yeah, I think these are the couple of tool suggestions from my end for new D2C brands.
Yeah, and coupled with this, if you have a super interactive email marketing tool, definitely like you have got all the check boxes ticked. And I would say, Seth, you would agree with this. Most of the D2C marketers, what they look at is the returning customer rate, which is very important for them. Like it's tougher to retain a customer than acquire a customer in the D2C space, because you have, as Mansi mentioned in the question, there is stiff competition from aggregators like an Amazon and Flipkart, wherein a lot of marketers could just run an Instagram page and they could just sell their products over there at a cheaper ROAS, at a higher ROAS, I would say, with a lesser ad spend, right? So when it comes to D2C, to build your brand reputation from scratch, to take it to a level of Sugar Cosmetics or a Mama Earth or a Misho, it takes a lot of efforts. And the direct KPIs that marketers look at is what is my returning customer rate. So indeed, all the tools that you mentioned, coupled with a super interactive email marketing tool, would be just the perfect fit for any D2C marketer, is what I would like to add. And coupled with that, like you have all these tools like Opt-in Monster, which allow you to build pop-ups on the website and collect email IDs, because as I said, email is a very important touch point for a lot of marketers because it's one of the cheapest. So at Mailmodo, at present, while we are building one, at present we don't have a pop-up incorporated with the website, but Mailmodo can definitely sync with a lot of tools like Opt-in Monster, which can have pop-ups on the website, collect email IDs, and feed the email IDs to Mailmodo, and you can start sending email campaigns to them. Yeah.
I definitely agree with you, Surya. Like the interactive email is like is at the next level. I mean, it will be going to a lot helpful for not just for the e-commerce industry, for every sort of industry, like who are actually using email marketing as a channel.
Right. Right.
Right. So, before we move on, we'll take this question that we have from the viewers from Aishwarya. She asks, how can we marry Instagram and email since Instagram is so integral to D2C? I think we sort of were talking about, uh, moving brands to having this store on Instagram. But yeah, I think it's something similar where I think Surya or Seth can just take it up.
I would like to go first. So, like with Instagram stories, you can have links to your web page. Say you are running an offer, you are running a sale. You lead the user through a story to the web page, and the web page has a pop-up which collects your email ID, and you send the user the voucher. For example, say a hair care brand is celebrating World Avocado Day, wherein you're getting 30% off on all the avocado related products, right? So you run that on the social media page, and in the beauty industry, especially categorically in the beauty industry, the travel industry to some extent, the Instagram is a very very important tool, mainly because there's a lot of Gen Z users, right? The typical audience which is subscribed to these brands is Gen Z or young millennials, and they are very active on Instagram. So if you want to reach out to them, Instagram is the best way. But you also want to reach out to them later on through email marketing, because email marketing is one of the cheapest modes of communication. So what you do is you lead them to the website using an Instagram story, and then you collect the email ID. Then you have the email ID in your database, and you keep nudging them later on as part of your retention marketing strategy. Seth, you want to answer this as well?
No, I think you sort of covered most of the things in the Instagram, because in the Instagram, like we have very limited scope of adding the links and all. So the thing is, like, we have to keep redirecting the user from Instagram to our website landing page. From there, we can start having that email life cycle. From there, like, they'll be putting the emails, and then we'll be engaging with them over there, like in terms of nurturing, also sending them offers and all. So yeah.
Right. Right.
Great. Okay, so I think we can move on to our next question. I think this is the final question that we have for this chat. What is e-commerce merchandising, and how has it evolved in recent times? Maybe we can obviously start with the perspective of website conversions, and then we can also talk about the email side of it.
Definitely. I'll pick this up from website conversion point of view. So I see e-commerce merchandising as a sort of a way to showcase the products categories through different product pages and category pages. Also, like the major objective of the merchandising is to obviously increase the overall conversions and revenue of the store. But merchandising is not just about showing the product. It is also about how we are actually optimizing the overall path to purchase for your users and customers. So I can see like how actually it evolved if I compare the current time with early years in the 21st centuries. Like at that time, the brands were actually struggling to bring everything from offline market to online environment. And nowadays, if I see, like, a lot of actually improvement happened over e-commerce merchandising. If we see, like, it is completely moving to the omni-channel experience. People are actually engaging on different sort of channels, like as we're talking about the Instagram. So from Instagram to website to Facebook to the other social media platforms, we are actually offering user experience across these different channels. Nowadays, like, we are using a lot of technologies. Like, retailers are actually analyzing data based on the user action, how they are actually behaving on the stores. Also, they are optimizing their product rankings based on the machine learning, like uh, how the general behavior of uh, for a category of a cohort of users who are actually browsing certain category products. Also, like these like not just the retailers, but also the, I can see a lot of brands, D2C brands like Nike itself, like they are doing personalized, like they are offering personalized pages for use based on the user behavior. All I mean these deep personalization and the recommendation is actually coming from AI. A lot of AI tools that they are using, so which is actually a huge difference if we compare it with the early 2000s. So that is that. Also, I can see a lot of things are happening through automation, as we are talking about automation in other questions as well, because automation is at the core of every e-commerce store. So a lot of new things, new technologies coming in the automation, starting from like as you're talking about the merchandising, based on like similar to merchandising, there is one AI based merchandising, like through which actually retailers are using the search intent of the users and actually recommending and recommending the products in a better way, in the faster process, in the faster sort of mode. Also, I would say brands can automate the process of how we show the product, how we actually create the FOMO through applying different sort of badges, labels. Also, using the automation, they can run sales automation at different times. Uh, I think, yeah, these are the couple of, I would say, the how it actually evolved from early 2000s to 2000s to current time.
Right. Right. I'll take
Right.
it up from the email marketing lens. So, how it's transitioned since 2004 or 2005, when Gmail started out, to now, it's. Uh, I wouldn't be able to say it's magical maybe 3 years down the line, but with AMP emails, I can proudly say it's magical in the email marketing space. How things have evolved, like you have, besides the interactive part, right, you have other technologies emerging like maximization, wherein you have different, it's like within an email itself you have different sort of windows of products instead of all products fit to one, right? You have 3D banners, like I saw an email sent by Nike which had a 3D banner, which really like stands out from the other emails and captures the end user's attention. When you receive such an email, you're like odd, right? So that's what is happening with email marketing. It's since AMP emails has come into play, every day a new trend is emerging. And of course, last but not the least, AMP emails, you can have a product carousel within the email itself. Like in an Instagram story, you can scroll through horizontally, you can scroll through your entire website product catalog within the email itself. So it's like setting up a mini shop within email itself, right? While WhatsApp lets you do it, it comes at a much higher cost, wherein like you have a WhatsApp bot sort of feature, and within WhatsApp itself you are able to browse through all your products. That's also beautiful, but when it's happening within emails, it's happening for cheap, so it's like really really standing out from the other channels. And like when it comes to product catalog sent to end users, even as Saif is mentioning, on websites there are a lot of AI and ML technologies incorporated nowadays. Even with emails, you can pretty much incorporate an AI ML recommendation engine, and the engine will recommend the products that you actually want to shop for. For example, while it's not the example of D2C, but if you have if you're subscribed to Netflix's email nudges, you would see that Netflix knows exactly what you want to watch next when you have finished watching one show. So that's a power of AI ML in email marketing. That's the power of interactive email widgets in email marketing, and it's just going to go up and up and up, is what I feel from here onwards. And when it comes to like sending out product catalogs in emails, like the vanilla product catalogs which go out, you as a marketer, you can perform a lot of A/B tests as well. Like for example, you can send one campaign with a coupon code for the end user to apply on the website. You can send another campaign to the same bunch of users on the same day of the week, with slashed prices, and see the kind of impact it's having. Some in some of the cases I've seen that slash prices really stand out in terms of conversion rates. People get better, people tend to transact more when they see the prices slashed rather than just applying a coupon code. And in very few cases I've seen, the coupon code mechanism work out better. So it's all about A/B testing. End of the day, it's about what your audience wants. But do try this out. Send one campaign with slash prices, send another campaign with the requirement for the end user to apply a coupon code, and see how it works out. Anyway, I think we are kind of running short on time. Mansi, we can go ahead
Yeah.
further.
Yeah, I think we can wrap this up soon. I think I would again like request if viewers have any questions, please just drop in your questions here, and we would love to take them up. Is there anything else that you would like to mention, Surya or Saif? Like anything that you would want, to share from your learnings from working with D2C stores, something that you've seen brands doing wrong, and something that you know that they shouldn't be doing that, and maybe you can like point out 2 or 3 points that come to your mind right now.
As far as email marketing is concerned, there are a lot of mistakes committed, I would say, in the D2C space or any industry for that matter. In India specifically, because marketers have this opinion that once they have an email ID, they can just shoot out a batch and blast campaign, which is the wrong strategy. Firstly, in India, we already have this problem of users having a relatively less tendency to check emails, and you need to send emails to the right users at the right time with the right content. Otherwise, you will just get lost in the crowd, right? So the classic definition of spam is basically email sent in bulk without any strategy to users who are not subscribed to your emails. So you have to be very careful over there. You have to adopt hyper segmentation. You have to understand, for example, if you're a hair care brand sending emails, you have to ensure that you're not sending emails to the at least the last 30 days transactors, right? Because a shampoo lasts for 45 to 60 days. You can't nudge the user to buy a shampoo again, right? So all these basic practices need to be followed. It's end of the day boils down to common sense. You just need to be extra careful while applying common sense when it comes to segmentation, when it comes to email marketing strategy, and don't treat emails separately. Treat emails the same way you treat WhatsApp, the same way you treat social media segmentation, the same way you treat push notification segmentation, is what I would say.
I think from that point, we have a question on the comments, which says which channel is most important for D2C?
There are quite a few channels. In fact, I would say all the channels are important for D2C. Don't miss out on WhatsApp. Don't miss out on push notifications. Don't miss out on SMS. Don't miss out on social media. Don't miss out on email marketing. But when it comes to which is the uh, highest revenue generating channel, which is the channel which gives me the highest ROI, I would still stick with emails.
Makes sense.
Great.
Seth?
So, yeah, I would like to add a couple of points, like majorly 2 points around the sort of best practices we can say. Uh, Two things. One is like post purchase experience, and the other is like customer feedback. Talking about
Right.
the first point, post purchase experience, like uh, generally D2C brands took take a lot of efforts to get the customers purchase a product, but a lot of times like they don't focus on like how they are actually giving services, and how they are actually offering the experience, like if if something went south, right? So if any user want to return the product, or they do have any problems with the product, they have some complaints, so how we are offering the experience to them, so that actually matters a lot for brand building and making trust on the brand. The other thing is customer feedback, like as we were talking about, like from the website conversion point of view, like uh, you have to you have to keep talking to your customers, do schedule weekly calls with the customers, and run a feedback loop with them, understand like what issues they are facing while browsing the products on the store, and how actually you can optimize them for a large set of customers. So these two things are very important, I would say.
Right.
Absolutely, Seth. And in terms of feedback, just to add on to what Seth said, right? The post-purchase journey is very important for D2C brands, and you can leverage this beautifully using interactive emails, wherein you send a feedback to the end user, but you have to be very careful about when you are sending the feedback. Like you can't send a feedback 3 or 4 days after purchase, because on an average, the shipping period is itself 5 to 7 days. So you have to wait for at least 20 or 30% of the product to be consumed, and then you send a feedback. Say it's a shampoo, you wait for 21 to 30 days and then send a feedback nudge. And based on the feedback nudge, you can base your other nudges, like a refill nudge. If the user has given me a negative feedback, there's no point in nudging the user to refill again, right? So you have to take care of these small tweaks to ensure that your email marketing strategy or your marketing strategy is flawless. So if you're sending a feedback nudge, use the feedback nudge while sending refill nudges as well. I will send a refill nudge only to users who have given me a positive or a neutral feedback. The negative feedback users will be culled out while sending a refill nudge. So uh, these basics need to be covered while we are looking at the post-purchase journey.
Right. Great. So I think if we don't have anything more to add here, we can probably wrap up the call, wrap up the chat here, and yeah, since we don't even have any more questions from the viewers, yeah, any parting comments or anything from you guys, Saif or Surya?
Let's wait for the questions. Yeah, like why are people not asking questions?
I'm
Like,
wanting the same.
guys, come on.
Yeah,
We
we
we have
can
a
wait for.
Yeah,
these
yeah, we
these
can
10
probably
minutes,
wait for.
these 10 minutes are dedicated for the questions. This is like an FAQ round. All right. So, Seth, it was a pleasure chatting with you. Got a lot of insights in terms of website strategy. While I've been looking at the direct marketing channels all these years, looking at it from the lens of website strategy, because that's the first nudge point for any user who is coming into your CRM organically, right? So website is indeed uh, very important. And what I've seen is over the years, all these old school brands also, say a Good Night or a Fevicol, these guys also want to go digital, have a digital presence, have their website, because they don't want to miss out on the other folks who are all going digital, right? So uh, website strategy is indeed very important, and it's lovely to hear such insightful facts from you from the lens of website strategy. It was lovely conversing with you.
Yeah, Surya, I mean, same. Like, I'm not sure of like, I'm actually, I don't have a lot of experience in terms of email marketing, but when I got to know about Mail Modo and like how it actually helps in terms of, sending interactive content over email, and people don't have to redirect to the other part of, from email. Actually, they can do a lot of actions over email. So it's very interesting, and I think it is going to help a lot of merchants and D2C brand owners. Also, as I talk about, like, it is a sort of a tool which other sort of companies also will be also using. Like, it's a sort of uh, like it is a next level game of email marketing, I would say.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks, Saif. Thanks, Surya, for having this amazing session and sharing so many great insights with us. All right, then I think we can see you all for the next growth chat. Till then, see you all. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
F. Thanks, Mansi. You were a lovely host. Thank you.
Thank you, Surya. Thank you, Mansi, for having me here. Bye bye.
Bye.